Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is John Bennett. I'm with Colorado 24/7 Fitness, and we're going to be talking about boxing technique. When it comes to boxing, everyone assumes that it's go, 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 hard, 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 as hard as you can. It's actually just the opposite. Boxing is about finesse, not about force. It's about hitting and not being hit. Make him miss, make him pay. So when we're boxing, we actually want to think 5 steps ahead, kind of like we're playing chess. I want to expose my opponent. I want to hit him in a place so he opens up so I can return a shot somewhere else. So I just don't want to hit him. I don't want to go in there and just go all out and throwing punches. I want to be able to calculate and find out where he's going to be, where he can move, and where I can do more damage with less movement. To do this, it doesn't come from the arms. Our power, our speed, our technique, it all starts from the toes. If you don't have your footwork down, you won't have anything down. So when we're talking about footwork in boxing, it's super important to be properly on both feet. We don't want to stand in line, which is what I call standing in line. We'll go over. And you don't want to be too narrow. A lot of people always say you want to stand skinny so you're not such a big target. It's actually kind of false. We want to be able to develop into our punches. And again, they come from our toes. So when we're talking about our boxing stance, our feet, we always want them at least shoulder width apart. So I don't want to stand skinny boxing someone. I want to be able to be shoulder width apart. The biggest thing is so I can have that side-to-side balance. If he was able to come at me and pivot on me and hit me from the side and I'm standing square, I'm going to fall. I'm going to tip over. I don't have my side-to-side balance. So I need to have my side-to-side balance and my forward and back balance so I could constantly move. So the way to do this is stand shoulder width apart, drive 1 foot straight back, 45-degree angle, both toes, and that's where you want to stand. Now, one thing you can do to make sure you're lined up is you always want to go heel to toe. So if I had this pipe on the floor, what I mean by heel to toe is I want to have that separation between my legs. I don't want to be behind my front foot, all right? And I don't want to be too close to my front foot. So I want to have this stance where I'm equally on both feet or more on my back foot. So I want to be able to keep my front foot light so I can transition into different shots, all right? So always try to keep yourself separated in your legs so you have that side-to-side balance. Without balance, you have nothing. It's all about setup. And without the balance, you have no setup, but you have no way to evade, and you have no way to attack when you need to attack. All right? So with our stance, what everybody does is as they start to, they begin in their proper stance, but as they start to move, they start to turn and start getting skinny. So as we start to move, people start doing this and start going. And pretty soon they're fighting what I call online. So they're standing on like a tightrope if they're facing my opponent. I want to keep my opponent in between fairly much my knees. So I never want my back foot to go behind my front foot. I never want to get it too narrow, and I never want to transition or cross, okay? I always want to keep my stance here. So when we're talking about moving in boxing, if we want to go forward, we actually have to drive with the back foot a little bit and lift the front leg up. We don't want to step and transition our weight because that's going to transition our balance as well, and that's going to throw our balance off. If he catches me when I'm trying to walk, my balance is going to be off. I'm going to take that shot and go right to the floor, even if it didn't knock me out. So to go forward in boxing, we want to strengthen in the back leg, lift the front leg, and let gravity push us forward. Let gravity make us fall forward. That's going to help us a lot in our punching. What a lot of people will start doing is they'll start throwing hard punches, and they'll start getting super exhausted. Then they're tired, and they can't throw any punch. If you can stay lighter on your legs, stay lighter in your punches, and stay smoother, you'll last a heck of a lot longer in your round. So to go forward again, we want to lift and push with the back leg. Push with the back leg, lift with the front, all right? Every movement in boxing is short, fast, accurate movements. There's not these big movements. So I don't want to jump 1 foot. I don't want to jump 2 feet ahead when I'm trying to punch. I want to jump 6 inches, 4 inches, 3 inches. But whatever I do, my feet have to match. If I go forward 3 inches, my back foot only comes in 3 inches. It's very common that when people walk, when they move forward in boxing, they want to get their back foot really close because they have a tendency to want to balance on their front leg. Again, we want to keep that back. So when we go backwards, it's really the same thing, just opposite of going forward. All right, we're going to push with the front, lift the back, fall forward, and fall backwards. Okay, I always come back to my stance. All right, if I move 6 inches with my front, my back moves 6 inches. I don't start going back here. Okay, I don't get skinny. I stay square at you. And there's a reason for this, and we'll get into that as we move up. Go left and right, same idea. If I want to go left, left leg first. If I want to go right, right leg first. So if I'm going to go left, I'm going to drive. If I want to go right, I push. And I always come back to my stance. This is home. If I cross up or get narrow, I'm going to be completely off of everything. So the reason why we need to have our toes properly aligned and in proper position is so we can throw our punches properly. If I stand too skinny and I go to throw my jab and follow it up with my power hand will never reach because I don't have my rotation. I can't turn into that punch. So then I end up reaching in and going over my front leg. That's super dangerous. If you're leaning into your punch, you're only helping your opponent punch harder on you, not you punch harder on him. Because you're going into a punch, he's going to hit you. You have to stay back, keep your nose behind your front knee at all time. All right? If you keep your nose behind your front knee, stay balanced, keep your shoulders level to the ground, you'll always be in balance. One thing is too is you got to be soft on your toes. So if you notice my back foot, I'm off my heel. I can still use it, but I'm using it more like a shock absorber. My legs want to be soft, my knees want to be soft. I don't want to be rigid. I don't want to be on my tippy toes. I want to be soft. Okay? When I move, I want to stay off my back heel so I can drive. I want to be on the balls of my feet. That's where I'm going to generate all my power. Okay? Now, going into punching. If I were to tell you to take your right hand, hit me as hard as you can, guarantee you 99% of the people are going to reach back like this and punch as hard as they can. That's not what we want to do. With boxing, we want to be able to roll into that punch. We want to be able to set it up and set it up smoothly. All right? So when we throw a jab, the jab is our elusive shot. It's not made to be thrown hard. It's made to be thrown fast. There's no power in our jab. It's a fast jab, and it sets everything else up. It's our measuring distance to see where our opponent is from us. It's our defensive move. I can use my jab to keep them away. I can do a lot of things with my jab. So when you throw your jab, you want to be able to throw in line. What I mean by that is we can see things like this and like this. Where humans have a problem is our depth perception going straight on. So if we were boxing and I couldn't rotate into my punches from my toes, I'm going to end up flaring out my elbows. So when I go to throw my jab, my elbow flares out, and you can see it right from the beginning. That's a big no-no. The idea is if I have my elbow flare out, my opponent is going to now see my jab coming out, and he's going to hit it down, and my jab will never land. So what I got to do is you want to start again from your toes. So if I want to throw my jab, I need to drive from my front toe, and my hip goes this way. All right, so every time I go, I'm driving straight up. All right, so this is what this is going to do is it causes him to not be able to judge precisely when and where that jab is going to land and how it's coming in. So it's going to be a lot harder for him to catch it because we have a hard time seeing depth perception. So if we're standing already square, we're already cheating our jab. Those are already turned into it, so we have no torque. If we stay in that skinny position, we throw across, we have no torque, we can't get into our jab or our cross, so we end up going forward, end up hurting us anyway. So you want to be able to have every punch set up the next punch, all right? So if I want to come in and I want to throw my jab crossed, I want to set this up and I want to be soft, all right? Because if I want to throw with power, everyone always thinks if I want to throw power, I want to throw hard, I got to flex real hard and I got to throw it hard. Completely opposite. Power is torque times speed. So torque times speed equal power. For instance, Mike Tyson, wonderful boxer, but the size of his arms don't scare me. It's his speed. His speed is super fast. That's why they talk about in boxing, speed kills. There's a reason for that. If I'm going hard as I can and trying to throw hard, I have to load it, squeeze, and then throw it all and then unload it. That's very exhausting for me. If I do that through an entire round, I'm exhausted. I have nothing left in me. But if I throw it quick, that's my power, all right? So my torque is gonna be from torque in my hip and my wrist, because every time I punch, I wanna be looking down the barrel of a gun, no matter what punch I'm throwing. If I'm throwing my jab, I'm looking down the barrel of a gun. If I throw my cross, barrel of a gun. I want my shoulder in my cheek. To do that, I want to turn my thumb slightly down like I'm trying to look at my watch. And that's both hands, okay? That's gonna roll my shoulder into my chin. The reason for that is protection. When we are here, this is our protection. If you were to throw a punch at me, I can dodge, I can evade, I can make it miss. But as soon as I release my hands from my face, I'm now open. So if I come in here and I'm not doing any good, I don't keep my chin tucked, I don't roll my shoulder, I'll be here. I'm gonna get a hook right over the top. You can miss this jab and come right over the top. But if I hide behind, looking down the barrel of a gun, it's gonna come in and ricochet off my shoulder, go over my head. No point. Same thing with my cross. I wanna come in and throw it out, okay? My speed is gonna be how quick I can get it out. My torque is torque through the core and the shoulder. That's gonna equal my power. When we throw, we're throwing from everything. So from here down, everything pretty much looks the same. My body movement, if I'm gonna throw my jab, I drive off my toe, torque through the hip, and I punch straight out, all right? When I want to throw my cross behind it, if I told you to hit me as hard as you can, like I said, you'd probably reach back and try to throw it in. Let your jab do that. As soon as I throw my jab, this shoulder goes back, and now it's cocked, ready, loaded to go. All right, so I can come here and bang, and as soon as I start transitioning all my weight back and torque, I can then come through and throw with speed. And then I can get a little more power through there by using my core, all through here. That's gonna be where a lot of my power is. So your power doesn't come from your arms. It's actually gonna come from your back, shoulder, and your core. Because everything is gonna be from the toes. If I can't get my toes and my hips to move, I'm not gonna have anything. So when we want to throw our cross, it's going to be very similar to throwing our jab. We want to throw torque off our toes. When I want to throw my jab, I want to stay skinny, I want to be here. All right, I've skinnied out. Now I've just loaded this one up. So same thing, if I want to throw my cross, this has to come with, all right? If you notice, my hips and my shoulders try to stay in line. So I want to drive with my hips and shoulders. It's my hand that comes out last, all right? So if I draw it from here first, I can come through here. If I stop and I don't turn, I'm here. I have nothing there. That's all arms. That's an arm punch. It's going to exhaust you, and you're going to get beat up. So the best thing to do is always have your feet, again, shoulder width apart, if not wider. My stance is fairly wide. All right. When I want to throw my cross, I want to come through and drive from this toe. What a lot of people want to do is they turn their heel out and twist. We don't want to do that. We actually want to roll onto the side of the big toe. So we want to use a lot of big toe. So when we throw our cross, our power hand, we want to drive over and bring it in, okay? I'm still behind my nose. My knees and nose are still lined up. I'm not leaning forward. I'm twisting instead of going here, all right? So instead of going here, I go here. All right, right through. So once I've done that, everything, the most common thing in boxing is going to be your jab, cross, hook. It's the first thing everyone learns, first thing everyone teaches. Super simple, super basic. But it's because each punch loads up the next. If I threw a jab, cross, hook, I've come here, loaded up my cross, throw my cross, now I just loaded up my hook. So now all I've got to do is transition. As this comes back, I transition around, and then now I drive off that foot again. And I throw my hook. Now this one again is loaded up, you can throw across. So you can continuously punch by throwing off of your toes. Once I start going arms and I'm stiff, I have nothing, all right? So you always wanna be in line, you always wanna be squared out, and you wanna be level and in balance at all times. If you're not in balance, you won't be able to throw anything. Now, when it comes to actual boxing and throwing punches, we want to be calculated with them. We don't want to just throw it and throw it with intent. We want to be able to calculate where it's going to go and actually pick where we want it to go. So if I've got my opponent and he's here, my scoring is going to be his face and his torso. If I'm hitting hands, if I'm hitting arms, not going to do much for points. So what I need to do is I need to uncover him in areas so I can then punch. That's where the combinations come in. So when I come in, and if he's guarded up tight and I can't get in through his guard, I'm going to throw combinations straight down the pipe so then he closes in. As soon as he closes those arms in from me going straight down the middle, I can now throw that hook and come around to the side where his arms aren't. All right, so if he's here and I start going right down the middle, he's going to close up, and now I'm open for that hook here. That's all I want to do. When you throw your combinations are not all power punches. So your power punch is the last punch out of the combination. Everything else before that is build up and speed. So again, jab, cross, hook. I'm throwing my jab, cross, quick, so I can then throw a power hook. All right, my hook is my knockout shot. If I threw a jab, cross, hook, cross, my last cross will then be my knockout shot. My first three are going to be speed and lead up. It's going to build my momentum to throw my punch hard. So by me throwing a jab, cross, hook, I just basically went here, here, and then drove hard. So I'm really picking up momentum through my punches, but I have to have my legs and my feet moving. If I'm stiff as a board, I'm going to be stiff as a board everywhere else, and you're going to flare out, and you'll see all your mistakes, and so will your opponent. So when you're coming in, you want to stay skinny, right down the pipe. You want to hide behind your arms for your protection. All right? Now you can throw quick. So when you throw quick, don't think about trying to knock your opponent out. Think about stealing his mouth guard out of his mouth before he can close his mouth. That's how quick you want to be. You don't want to be leaving it out there and laying it out there. You want to be that and bring it straight back in. All right? Because again, this is your protection. As soon as you release it, you're unprotected. So I don't want to leave my jab out there and just drop it. All right? I'm wide open. I want to be here and come right back. Bang, come right back. Boom, boom. All right? He's going to try to get in between your punches, and you are as well. So again, you're really trying to expose your opponent to find out where you want to be punching. If I'm really good at a body hook to the left, I want to throw my left hook. For me to do that, I need to be able to open up his ribs or his side of his head so I can throw that hook. All right? So if I want to throw my lead left hook, or if I want to throw a hook to the body just because that's what I love to do, I have to set that up. I can't just come in and force it and drive in hard. I'm going to get beat up, or I'm going to fall. I'm going to be off balance. So I'm going to come in with a jab cross or anything to get him to move so he doesn't see me coming. I always want to be moving. I always want to be advancing. If I'm not advancing, my next punches won't land. If I hit you 3 times and after the first punch you step back, guess what? The first 2 aren't going to stick if you're not moving. You'll punch him once, he's going to go back and you stay, he's gone. So you've got to advance with all your punches. When you're doing so, you've got to make sure your feet and your punches are lined up together. If I want to move with my jab, my front foot moves with my jab, back foot comes in as I retreat. Boom, boom. All right, so if I want to come in here, I can move with my jab, but I have to move. If I throw one and hit you, you're not going to be there anymore. So now I got to step again. I have to close in that space. All right, so now if I'm throwing that body hook, I'm going to come down the pipe so you narrow up so I can get that rib exposed if that's where I want to hit you, or get that chin exposed if that's where I want to get you. All right, so you think about playing chess. I want to think 3 steps ahead. What's going to happen if I hit him here, here, and here? Where is he going to move his arms? What's going to open up? Where is he going to be open? And that's what I'm looking for. So every time you throw a punch, it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be with him content. You can throw it out there to see where he's going to go, how he's going to react. Because how he reacts will show you what he's going to open up and prepare you for a boxing match and how you can hit him without being hit yourself. All right. That's going to be it for today. This is going to be a series, so we're going to talk more as we go on. We'll start breaking down each jab, start breaking down the crosses, start breaking down movements and foot patterns. and just really kind of build it up from there. Don't forget, on Tuesdays at 6 p.m., we have a boxing class in Newcastle. If you want to come and you're a member, it's free for members. And it's a fantastic class. We have heavy bags, we do a lot of mitts, and a lot of the exercises is about an hour long. So if you want to come, if you've got your own gloves, please bring your own gloves. Thank you so much. And I forgot to plug.